Okay, so I'm gonna take you through how to install a Whipple. Now, most wah wah pedals have these little feet on the bottom, so you need to take the feet off and get at the circuit board. This is a fairly typical looking crybaby. This crybaby is probably from the early 90s, and we need to take this screw out and also take apart the nuts that are on the jacks. Alright, so now we can pull the board out, I think. Alright, basically what we need to do is get out the underside of the board, because we need to unsolder the inductor. This is the inductor on a wah-wah on this version of a crybaby. So now this is an older crybaby, and let's take a look at what's inside of this one, just for comparison. So if we look inside this one, this is much older. This one is probably from the 70s. Now if you notice, there's a couple differences. There's the TDK inductor. The jacks are not mounted onto the PC board. Has these big fat silver capacitors and carbon composition resistors, but we can actually install a Whipple in this and it'll help the sound a whole lot. Now you're going to need a soldering iron, and you're going to need something that takes the solder out when you heat it up. This is a little vacuum pump solder tool, desoldering tool. So what I'm doing is I'm heating up the solder, and then I'm going to take a couple shots here. So doing this kind of stuff, it takes a little bit of patience, because it doesn't always work right away. So now we pretty much have most of the solder off this. It should, yep, pops right out. Now we're ready to install the Whipple. What's nice about having these type of boards is that the Whipple can be installed without any other modifications. And basically the Whipple has 5 pins on the bottom of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I bent this pin down. I'm going to bend down 4 and 5, and we should be able to line it up into one of the many holes that we have to choose from here. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the board here and I'm figuring out which holes I need to put the inductor in to properly, I think if we can, yeah, there we go. Let me try this too. There we go. Now it's not totally in the middle, but it'll work. So what I'm going to do is flip it over and then solder in the 2 posts that the post 1 and 8 are coming out of. Alright, that was pretty easy. That's the first step. If that's the only thing that you're doing, then you can stop. On this particular wah wah pedal, we're going to do a couple other things to make it cooler and better.